What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, all right, we got another original versus cover. Yes, indeed. For those of you who are fans of competition, FEELIN, you, come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-boobidi bop, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Charles B, and this is actually 2 of Charles B's 3 prioritized requests for the month of September for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So here you go, Charles. Hope you enjoy the show, man. Charles wanted to see me react to this. It is the original versus the cover. It is a band I've never had on the channel before, so making their debut. We have Crying Nut versus Rolling Quartz doing the Crying Nut song, Song of the Heart.
You sentimental drivel poop!
Now, have I heard either one of these songs before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard either one of these songs in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to either one of these songs and I suddenly go, wait a second, yeah, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. As always, Charles has provided an intro, and I'm just gonna warn you all right now, get comfortable. This is a long one. And he warned me that this is gonna be a long one too, so I'm just warning all of you as well, get comfortable. All right, here we go. So far, you've gotten a taste of some Korean rock bands like Onawi, Day 6, Extraordinary Heroes, and even metalcore group Bursters. Now it's time to be introduced to one of the more important groups in Korean rock, Crying Nut. Okay? Crying Nut's first full-length album, 1998's Speed Up Losers, known as Let's Ride a Horse in Korean, and its title track became the first successful album by a Korean indie act, selling over 100,000 copies. This cemented Crying Nut's status as the pioneers of the Korean indie scene. Also, since the album was punk, they're also credited as one of the godfathers of Korean punk. Well, we'll see about that. Aside from punk, they have also explored all kinds of other rock musical styles over their years. In 2020, for their 25th anniversary, they launched the hashtag Crying Nut Challenge, okay? Where they invited anyone in the world to cover any of their songs. About 6 months before their debut with Blaze, Rolling Quartz joined in by posting a cover of Crying Nut's Song of the Heart from their 2018 album Remodeling. I need to scroll up a little bit. Rolling Quartz has cited Crying Nut as a major influence, and after their cover dropped, Crying Nut has invited the Rolling Quartz ladies to join them on stage to perform Song of the Heart with them a few times. Rolling Quartz then re-recorded their cover and released it as the B-side to their very poppy tune that you heard last year, Nazababara. that name. Sadly, there is one unfortunate bummer. In 2022, when Rolling Quartz put out their re-recorded cover as an official release, the English title got changed from Song of the Heart, which is an accurate translation of the Korean title and a lyric from the song, to Sing Your Heart Out, a line that is never said in the lyrics. Why would you do this? Who's responsible for that? It wouldn't be the band that was responsible for that. That would be the record label, probably the producer. Oh, thanks a lot. Not cool, says Charles. I agree with you. While it's not the fault of the Rolling Quartz ladies, whoever handles their English stuff made a bad call. Boy, you're not kidding. Changing the English title disconnects the cover from the original Crying Nut song, making it harder for non-Korean fans to discover the OG version. and the band behind it and creates unneeded confusion. Boy, you're not kidding. As evidenced by the fact that I even had to spend time explaining this. Well, yeah, you typed it, but now I'm saying it. Most fans outside of South Korea only know this song as Sing Your Heart Out and are unaware that Rolling Quartz covered it, like they also covered Maya's Azalea. No matter what the English title that is used on Rolling Quartz's releases, the correct title is Song of the Heart, as that is the official English title that Crying Nut released it under the That Crying Nut released it under in 2018. Okay, now I get it. Now moving on to the original versus cover reaction review. The second video you'll watch is the cover from Rolling Quartz that they put out in the hashtag Crying Nut Challenge back in May 2020. It is not, I repeat, not their re-recorded version that they put out in 2022. Just so you know, the Korean writing in the title of the video from them that you will react to means hashtag Crying Nut Challenge, Song of the Heart by Rolling Quartz. Okay, that's so when we get to the video, it's going to be all in Korean probably, and I'm not going to understand a word of it, so that's what it means. But before that, the first video you'll see will be the original by Crying Nut. Crying Nut did not make a music video for Song of the Heart, but I thought for their debut on the channel, you should see what the band looks like. So oh my goodness, there's more. So you will be reacting to a live performance they did on December 15th, 2018 on the Korean music show Cultural Concert Nanjang. There is an English translation of this, there is an English translation of this song on Rolling Quartz's YouTube channel for the music video of their 2022 version, but that translation is not as accurate as it could be. So I had it improved, timed that new and improved English translation to this live performance by Crying Nut, and posted it on my channel over at Odyssey. That means Charles's channel over at Odyssey. The link to the Crying Nut performance with the more accurate English translation of the song will be available for everyone in the description box for this video. Enjoy. Whew, that is one long intro. See, this is why I don't do intros, man. I do it for Charles simply because he's a gold tier member, but sometimes these intros can get long, and I know people complain about them, so sorry about that, folks. Okay, so here are the statistics here for the Crying Nut Song of the Heart video. It's posted over on the Odyssey channel, posted by The Running Man Subs. It has 7 views. You already know what I'm gonna say. It's not gonna get you there. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure the song is fine. I'm just saying 7 views is not gonna get you there. And then the second video is the Rolling Quartz Song of the Heart. It was posted by Rolling Quartz Official over on the YouTube channel, and it has 70,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, hopefully, there's really nothing else I have to say. Link to the original video will be down below. Link to the original videos will be down in the video description down below for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Yada, yada, yada. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, here we go. Get those fingers up, because here we go. All right, here we go. Starting off with the original here. Crying Nut, Song of the Heart, live at Cultural Concert Nanjang, new and improved English translation. Cool. Remember, folks, you can get this video, you can go see this video uninterrupted. You can just follow the link down below. Go to Charles's channel over on Odyssey, and you can check it out there. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Okay. Punk? No. Punk influenced? Yeah. I see the punk influence, but I see other influences too. I'm getting the punk influence, yes. I'm also getting I'm getting a little bit of like, you know, new rock, like 2000s new rock. I'm getting some 70s in there. Like, believe it or not, I'm getting a little like Pink Floyd feel in there, a little bit. There's a lot of flavors in here, and if I was to say, if I were to be put to task and say, well, which one of the flavors that you're hearing is the most dominant, I'm gonna say new rock, like the 2000s, like rock bands like The Strokes, or maybe My Chemical Romance a little bit, possibly. But you look at a lot of the bands that were not metal bands, not new metal, but new rock bands. Yeah, there's a lot of them that came out. And a lot of them, unfortunately, were kind of like one-hit wonders, but they all sounded the same. Well, not necessarily the same, but they all sounded very similar. And I would definitely say that's definitely the more dominant flavor that I'm getting out of this. But I am hearing the punk influence for sure. But I would not call this punk. I wouldn't. There's too much happening melodically. That I really wouldn't call this punk. It's not. It doesn't have the grit. It doesn't have the attitude. It doesn't have the drive and the energy. The angst. It doesn't. It's missing all of those components. So I don't know if I would call it punk flat out, but I do see some of the punk flavor in there. So anyway, let's keep going here. His mouth. Is that a kazoo? Oh, it's an Ebo. Okay. That transition to the backbeat, I like it. Yeah, kind of a shuffle feel. Yeah, I like that transition. It makes sense. Going to that backbeat shuffle feel. Feels nice, feels good. Just adds another element, adds another flavor. I like the lead vocals. I like what he's doing there. Sounds good. the drummer's backing vocals, at times, it's a little distracting because now I don't know if he's doing this intentionally or not, but he's going out of tune. Now, I suspect he's doing it on purpose because he's doing it the same every single time and he's not fixing it. So either he's doing it on purpose for whatever the reason, or he can't hear himself being out of tune. I very seriously doubt that that's the case. I suspect he's doing it on purpose. Now, why? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure about why. But I would say about 90% of what he's singing, though, sounds good blending in with what the lead vocalist is doing. But the lead vocalist is definitely a good vocalist. He's making that very clear to me. Let's see. Bass playing sounds good. Keyboard playing sounds good. The lead guitar player over here with using the EBO on the solo, that was nice. Nice touch. Sounded really good. No music, and the drumming, the actual drumming sounds really nice. I'm digging what the drummer's doing. The overall, instrumentally, I got no issue with anything that's happening instrumentally. My only issue is the vocals, and it's the backing vocals from the drummer. And even that, like I said, 90% of it I'm fine with. But there's that 10%. So, I don't know. I'm not sure what the reason is. Let's finish this out, and then we'll get to the cover. Is that the drummer doing the high vocal? Yeah, I mean it's good. It's good. I don't know if it's something I would ever listen to on the regular, but it's not bad, not by any stretch. It's gonna be interesting. I'm really curious to see what Rolling Quartz is gonna do with this. I wonder if they're gonna stay true to the original or if they're gonna put their own spin on it and make it their own. I don't know. Let's get to it. Let me transition over to the Rolling Quartz cover, and I'll see you there. All right, here we go. Yeah, Charles warned me about that. So, hashtag Crying Nut Challenge by Rolling Quartz. And we already know the song. What was the name? Song of the Heart? Yeah, so, cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Rock, rock, here,
I'm torn. I'm torn on this. Vocally, just purely based on vocals, I think Rolling Quartz is knocking it out of the park. I think they're doing a better job than Crying Nut. Here's the thing, though. Instrumentally, I think I prefer the original. I think I prefer Crying Nut. It had a fuller sound. It had a much fuller sound. It didn't have those gaps where it sounded hollow and it sounded empty. I know when it comes to fullness, I think Crying Nut definitely had an advantage having a keyboard player. And I think that's what's creating the difference, honestly, between the two. You have, but then again, they had two guitar players too, so that could be part of it as well. They had two guitar players plus the bass player plus the keyboard player, whereas Rolling Quartz has two guitar players and the bass. It could be the difference. It could be. I also kind of like the energy and the drive of Crying Nut a little bit more as well. No, but like I said, as far as vocals go, purely based on vocals, Rolling Quartz is destroying Crying Nut. I mean, they're absolutely wrecking them. So I don't know. This is going to be interesting. We still got 2.5 minutes to go, so there's still plenty of time. But if you were to ask me to pick a winner right now, as it stands right now, I think I would have to go with Crying Nut, but it's close. It's very close. The next 2.5 minutes is really going to kind of determine where we're going to go. So let's get back into this. See what I mean? It just got thin. But vocally, they're killing it. motion sickness from the camera work. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. I need to think about this. I have a feeling I know we're gonna go with this, but I want to be sure. So give me a chance to get my thoughts together on both videos, and I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Crying Nut versus Rolling Quartz, original versus cover of the song of the Heart. This was a request from Charles B. And this was actually 2 of Charles B's 3 prioritized requests for the month of September for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, Charles. Hope you enjoyed the show, man. Okay. I thought about this for a while. And I have everything set. I do. It's all here. It all lines up. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You'll see what I mean. I promise you're gonna see what I mean. Folks, this was close. It was very, very close. Let's start with the original here. We'll start with Crying Nut. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give that a 7.2. Yep, 7.2. I feel good about that score. And then there's the Rolling Quartz version, and I am not even kidding you, folks. This is how close this was. For Rolling Quartz, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.3. Yeah, 7.3 for Rolling Quartz versus a 7.2 for Crying Nut. We are literally talking about a 0.1 difference. But I feel good about both of those scores. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, they are both in the exact same category. There is no difference between the two. 7.2 and 7.3. They both mean a really good skill rating. They would both get 4 to 5 stars, and they would both get a B letter grade. So there you go. 7.2, 7.3 means a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Now, how did I come up with these scores? So glad you asked. And you just wait, because I'm gonna blow people's minds a little bit later here. Okay, so the Crying Nut getting a 7.2 and Rolling Quartz getting a 7.3. How did that happen? I'm gonna be honest with you, folks. It really came down to one thing and one thing only: vocal performance. I think Rolling Quartz's vocal performance was cleaner. That's really all it came down to. Musically, they both sounded really good. They both did. Obviously, Rolling Quartz doing a cover, staying very true to the original. They didn't really take it in any weird direction. So they were basically doing a carbon copy cover, just with improved vocal performance. I think the Crying Nut version had, on the other hand, a little more of an edge to it. I feel like it was a little more raw. I feel like it was a little fuller sounding too. Now, there could be for a number of reasons. I think the most obvious reason is because they had 2 guitars plus bass plus keyboard, where Rolling Quartz only had 2 guitars and 1 bass. Now, here's the thing, I question Rolling Quartz's decision making on this. There were a lot of times where their two guitar players were playing, like, I'll use this as an example. During the guitar solo, the guitar player over on stage left took the guitar solo, right? But then the guitar player on stage right, rather than playing chords, played a counter melodic line, while the bass player played a walking, well, not exactly a walking bass line, but played a moving bass line. It emptied out. There was no chords being played to fill out the sound. Whereas Crying Nut, when the guitar solo happened and the guitar player was using the EBow, the bass player was also playing a moving bass line, but the keyboard player was playing chords to fill out the sound. Instrumentally, I preferred Crying Nut. I think Crying Nut's instrumentals, I think they definitely sounded, if nothing else, they sounded fuller than Rolling Quartz's instrumentals at times. Not to take anything away from Rolling Quartz musicianship. I'm not saying they did a bad job. What they played sounded just fine. I just think Crying Nut's instrumentals sounded better and sounded fuller, as opposed to the vocal performance, where I think Rolling Quartz's vocals sounded better overall. I think the lead vocal sounded better than the original, and I think the harmonies sounded better than the original, coming from Rolling Quartz. This is the main reason why I'm giving it a 0.1 advantage over Crying Nut. I think that the vocal delivery was just a lot cleaner. So that is really the deciding factor between the two. I think both of them did a fine job. Chordally, from a chordal progression standpoint, I think the song made sense. I love the fact that the original and the cover, they did it too. About 2/3 of the way through the song, they kicked it into that backbeat shuffle feel. I like that. I think that was a nice transition. I think it was a nice little switch up. It definitely made the song, it kept the song from becoming redundant and becoming repetitive. Now, here's where I'm going to really blow some people's minds. I gave Crying Nut a 7.2, and I gave Rolling Quartz a 0.1 advantage of 7.3. But if you're asking me which one I prefer, get ready to be blown away, folks. I prefer Crying Nuts. I'm sorry. I like the fuller sound. I like the rounder, fuller, richer sound that Crying Nut had. Which is funny because, we were talking about them being punk influenced and kind of the forefathers of punk. I'm gonna be honest with you, folks. I didn't hear a whole lot of punk in the Crying Nut. I heard a little bit. I got a little flavor of punk, but there was a lot of other things happening in there. I heard some 70s rock. I heard a little bit of progressive rock. I heard a lot of new rock in this. The Rolling Quartz, if I'm being honest, I felt more of a punk feel from what they did. It was more new rock and punk versus what Crying Nut did, where we got a lot of things. I'm not kidding you. During the Crying Nut performance, I was getting shades of Pink Floyd. I really was. Coming mostly from the keyboard playing, but also from the guitar playing a little bit too, especially during the guitar solo. I kind of got David Gilmour vibes a little bit. No, but overall, between the two, nothing against Rolling Quartz. I think they did a fine job. I think they did a better job overall, but I prefer the Crying Nut version. So take that for what it's worth. I told you it's going to be a little confusing. So there you go. I'm giving the nod from a score point of view. I'm giving the nod to Rolling Quartz with a 7.3 over a 7.2 for Crying Nut. But personally, if I have to listen to one of these two, I would prefer listening to the Crying Nut version. Now, am I ever going to put either one of these songs on my playlist? No, I don't see that happening, honestly. Don't get me wrong, it's a fine song. It's a good song, but it's not really in my wheelhouse, honestly. So, but there you go. A 7.2 for Crying Nut and a 7.3 for Rolling Quartz. Personally, I'll go with the Crying Nut version. So there you go. Let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? For Crying Nut, we got a 7.2, a really good skill rating, 4 out of 5 stars in a B letter grade. And for Rolling Quartz, we got a 7.3, which is still a really good scale rating, still 4 out of 5 stars, and still a B letter grade, with me giving the nod to Crying Nut. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, that did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.